quick testimony. I have been officially free for over 1 year. So this platform was built off of me sharing my testimony, and today is no different. And since we only have a few more days left on this here app, I figured I might as well end this thing the same way that I came in. My very first viral video was literally me crying and bawling and talking about how good God is. Today is no different. So I have been officially free for over a year. I am somebody that used that to cope through trauma and anxiety and pain and just literally everything. That was my go-to for so many years. I had a very traumatic relationship with my mother as a teenager, and just so many things that I dealt with daddy issues and so many other things that I've already talked about before, so we won't get into it in this video. But I will say that I was always looking for something to cope, because I didn't know how to self-regulate. I didn't know how to self-soothe my emotions because I wasn't properly taught how to. I saw my mother and grandmother deal with like anxiety medications and things like that, and I always said that that's something that I didn't want to do. So I figured I would do it the natural way. Also, when I went away to college and, you know, I was hanging out and kicking it and partying and all those things, that is where I officially learned to roll my first blunt. So I smoked all through my 20s, my 30s, and over a year ago, I decided I was entering into my 40th year of life and I wanted to do something different. But it was more than just me wanting to do something different. The Lord kept pulling on my heart and telling me that I had to let it go. I remember that I was going into a season and God was saying, I need you to be sober-minded in this season. I need your full attention. I need your undivided attention. I need you to put it down. And I thought that I was just putting it down for a moment, but I said, okay, Lord, if this is something that you want me to do, I need you to take the taste out of my mouth, because I literally thought that I was going to be an 80, 90-year-old woman still smoking like Snoop Dogg. I used to say that out of my mouth. So last fall, I was obedient and I said, okay, Lord, I'm doing this. I'm going to be turning 40 soon, and I need to do something different. I need to do something completely different than I've already done all these other years. I also had to take a moment and realize, what is it that I am trying to medicate? What is it that I'm trying to numb? What is it that I'm trying to soothe? Because I have done so much intensive healing, so much trauma healing, so much generational healing, and I had to stop and ask myself, what are you numbing in this season? Because you have the tools to deal with the things that you've dealt with. You have the tools to regulate your emotions. You have the tools to regulate all the things that you go through mentally. So what exactly are you numbing? What are we doing? Because at this point, it's just a habit. And I understand that idolatry is anything that we put above God. And I realized that even though I was still serving God, I was still encouraging other people, I was still praying and doing all the things, that was something that was hindering my relationship and my growth in God. So I said, okay, Lord, take the taste out of my mouth. And I was obedient because God said, I need your undivided attention. Now, see, mind you, I've been saved for a very long time, but that was something that God was very patient with me in letting go of. Because sometimes you think we get saved and then we have to automatically like be completely fixed and healed and cleaned and all those things. But God is a patient God. He's a gracious God. He ain't a God to be played with, but he will give you grace in a situation. So I said, okay, God, let's go. Let's do this. And that was fall of 2023. And here it is, January 2025. I'm about to be 41 in less than a week. And it has been over a year that I have officially been smoke-free. And I cannot say how good I feel. I even tried to go back to it in a couple little celebratory seasons and things like that. But every time that I would pick it up, I would get a horrible headache. And I realized, okay, God, this is something that you've delivered me from. So I went from being a hardcore smoker. Now, mind you, I never went to work high. I didn't do those things, but I needed it to sleep. Anytime there was a season or a situation where I was going through stress or trauma or anything like that, that would be my go-to. And so I have officially, I can say, because I'm through it, that I have conquered that beast, that the Lord has given me tools to overcome that addiction. And it was nothing but the grace of God that he delivered me. And so if this was something that you were dealing with and you were praying about and you're struggling with, this is your sign that if I can do it, being a smoker of 20 years plus, then you can do it too. So in true TMAC fashion, sharing my story, sharing my testimony. Like I said, I feel like it was a time for me to be able to share this part of my story. So whatever addiction you are dealing with, whatever it is that you are using to numb and mask your feelings, your emotions, I encourage you to invite Jesus into that space. I encourage you to give those pieces to God and let him deliver you, because it is possible. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible. Anything is possible with God. So I don't know how much longer TikTok gonna be here, and that's really not my concern, but I know that somebody needed this message, and I've literally been fighting myself for weeks on sharing this message, but can't nobody tell my story like I can tell my story, and I'm gonna tell my story before the enemy tries to reveal my story. So like I said, I have been delivered from the puff puff pass, and you can be delivered too. I love y'all. Peace.